Welcome to the InnoGuide Podcast, where we share the works of authors and mentors to guide innovation. In episode number 24, we're sharing part 2 of Co-Intelligence, Living and Working with AI by Ethan Mollick. In part 1, we covered the introduction, 3 sleepless nights, creating alien minds, aligning the alien, and 4 rules for co-intelligence. And we covered chapter 4, AI as a person. In part 2 of this podcast, we're going to cover chapters 5 through 9, and we begin with chapter 5, AI as a creative. So let's talk about AI as a creative partner. The first principle, always invite it to the table. Working with AI can feel a lot like collaborating with a person, but what kind of person? What are its strengths and weaknesses? To understand that, we first need to confront one of AI's biggest flaws, its tendency to hallucinate. AI, especially large language models, LLMs, is notorious for making things up. It doesn't know anything, know in quotes. It just predicts the most likely next word based on patterns in its training data. It doesn't care if what it says is true, meaningful, or original. It just wants to sound coherent and make you happy. This is why it can confidently spout nonsense that sounds plausible. For example, when asked for a random number between 1 and 100, ChatGPT often says 42 far more often than it should. Why? Because 42 is famously the answer to life, the universe, and everything, in quotes, in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The internet loves this joke, so the AI has seen it a lot, making it more likely to pop up, even when it's supposed to be random. This tendency to hallucinate isn't just a technical quirk. It's based on how LLMs work. They don't store facts, they store patterns. And to avoid being too predictable, which would make them boring and repetitive, they add randomness, which increases the chance of hallucinations. Plus, their training data can be biased, incomplete, or outright wrong, and the AI can't tell the difference between fact and fiction. This is why it's so important to fact-check anything an AI produces, especially for tasks requiring precision. A famous example of this went viral in 2023 when a lawyer, Stephen Schwartz, used ChatGPT to prepare a legal brief. The AI confidently cited 6 fake court cases, which Schwartz submitted to the court without verifying. The defense lawyers couldn't find the cases, and the judge wasn't amused. Schwartz was fined $5,000 for misleading the court, and the incident became a cautionary tale about blindingly trusting AI. Here's the paradox. The same randomness that makes AI unreliable also makes it creative. It can connect ideas in ways humans might not think of. For example, I once asked an AI to combine fast food, a lava lamp patent, and 14th century England. It suggested a medieval-themed fast food restaurant with lava lamps as a decor and souvenirs. Is it a great idea? Maybe not, but it's creative. And if you don't like the first idea, the AI can generate dozens more. This ability to recombine ideas is at the heart of creativity. Think about the Wright brothers. They didn't invent bicycles, birds, or the concept of flight. They combined their knowledge of these things to create the first controllable airplane. AI works the same way. It's a connection machine, trained to find relationships between seemingly unrelated concepts. This is why it excels at tasks like brainstorming. For example, in a creativity test called the Alternative Uses Test, AUT, where participants come up with as many uses as possible for a common object, like a toothbrush, humans typically generate 5 to 10 ideas in 2 minutes. AI? It comes up with 122. Sure, some ideas were silly, but many were genuinely interesting. AI's creativity isn't just theoretical, it's practical. At Wharton, professors ran a contest where students in GPT-4 competed to generate product ideas for college students under $50. The AI crushed it. Of the 40 best ideas, 35 came from GPT-4. It wasn't just faster, its ideas were more appealing to judges. That said, most humans still outperform AI in terms of diversity and originality, but for the rest of us, AI is a fantastic brainstorming partner. So how do you use AI effectively? First, give it clear instructions. For example, if you want marketing slogans for a cheese shop, don't just say, "Give me slogans." Instead, tell the AI who it is. You are an expert marketer. Generate 20 clever, creative, and varied slogans for a mail-order cheese shop. The results might include gems like, "From our cave to your crave," or "Cut the queue, get the blue." Sure, some ideas will be bad, but that's okay. Creativity is about generating lots of ideas, knowing most will be mediocre and finding the gems. Another tip, push the AI to be weird. By default, it tends to give safe average answers. But if you ask it to think outside the box, like imagining how superheroes might make espresso, you get more novel ideas. For example, Nightcrawler could teleport to Italy to learn from baristas, while Scarlet Witch could use chaos magic to conjure up the perfect cup. These ideas might not be practical, but they can spark inspiration. AI's creative potential extends beyond writing. It's transforming fields like coding, where it can help non-programmers write software, and art, where tools like Midjourney let people like me who can't draw to save their lives create visually stunning images. When I first used Midjourney, I made artistic bar charts. Yes, I'm an academic. And people loved them. Was it art? Maybe not, but it was creative, fulfilling, and something I couldn't do before. Of course, there are downsides. The ease of using AI, what I call the button, could make us lazy. When faced with a blank page, people will push the button to generate a first draft. This is fine for starting, but if we rely too much on AI, we risk losing our originality and depth of thought. For example, professors might use AI to write recommendation letters, which is supposed to signal their personal investment in a student. If everyone uses AI, the letters might be better written, but they lose their meaning as a signal of effort. This challenge extends to other tasks like performance reviews, strategic memos, and even art. If AI-generated work becomes the norm, we risk creating a world where everything feels generic and meaningless. But history shows that us humans adapt. When photography made realistic painting obsolete, artists pushed the boundaries of what art could be. When spreadsheets automated calculations, clerks shifted to higher-level tasks. Similarly, we'll need to find new ways to make creative work meaningful in the age of AI. In the end, AI is a tool, a powerful one. It can help us brainstorm, write code, and create in ways we never imagined. But it's up to us to use it wisely, balancing its strengths with our own creativity and critical thinking. After all, the best ideas come when humans and AI work together. Chapter 6, AI as a coworker. One of the first questions people ask when they start using AI seriously is, will this affect my job? The answer is almost certainly yes, but before you panic, let's break it down. AI and jobs, the overlap. Research shows that AI overlaps with almost every job out there. 4 different studies have analyzed over 1,000 professions, and the conclusion is clear. AI can do parts of nearly all jobs. This isn't like past automation revolutions, which started with repetitive, low-skill tasks. Instead, AI overlaps most with highly paid, highly creative, and highly educated jobs. For example, college professors, like me, are high on the list. Business school professor is number 22. But the job with the most overlap? Telemarketer. AI-powered robocalls are about to get a lot more convincing. That said, there are a few jobs AI doesn't touch yet. Dancers, athletes, roofers, motorcycle mechanics, for example, are safe for now because these jobs require physical movement and spatial awareness, which AI lacks. But even in these fields, AI is creeping in. For instance, a roofer I spoke to is already using AI for marketing and customer service, so the overlap is everywhere. Will AI replace jobs? Just because AI can do parts of your job doesn't mean it will replace you. Jobs are made up of bundles of tasks, and AI is great at some tasks and terrible at others. For example, as a professor, my job includes teaching, researching, writing, even filling out boring paperwork. AI can help with some of these tasks, like summarizing research or drafting emails, but it can't replace the whole job. Think of it like power tools for carpenters or spreadsheets for accountants. AI makes us more efficient, but it doesn't eliminate the need for humans. However, jobs don't exist in isolation. They're part of larger systems. For example, even if AI could teach better than I can, would students want to learn from a machine? Would universities adopt AI teaching? Would rankings punish schools for using AI instead of professors? Jobs are deeply connected to systems. stakeholders, and human preferences, which makes replacing them more complicated than it seems. Testing AI in the workplace. To really understand how AI affects work, my colleagues and I ran a study with Boston Consulting Group, BCG. We gave nearly 800 consultants tasks like brainstorming ideas, analyzing data, writing press releases, and drafting memos. Half used GPT-4 and half didn't. The results? The AI-powered group performed better across the board. They were faster, more creative, and produced higher quality work. But here's the twist. Many participants let AI do most of the work. They simply pasted in the task and accepted the AI's output without much editing. This is a common problem when people first use AI. They trust it too much. And that's dangerous because AI is not perfect. For example, we gave the consultants a tricky task designed to confuse the AI. Without AI, humans got it right 84% of the time. With AI, the accuracy dropped to 60 to 70%. Why? People trusted AI's wrong answers instead of thinking critically. This phenomenon, called falling asleep at the wheel, was explored in another study by Fabrizio Dell'Acqua. He found that recruiters using high-quality AI became lazy and made worse decisions than those using low-quality AI or none at all. This is because when the AI was good, they stopped paying attention and blindly followed its recommendations. This highlights a key risk. If we rely too much on AI, we lose our own skills and judgment. Dividing tasks. What's for AI and what's for us? To work effectively with AI, we need to divide tasks into 3 categories. Just me tasks. These are the tasks we want to keep human, either because AI isn't good at them, like writing jokes, AI humor is still mostly dad jokes, or because we feel they should remain human for ethical or personal reasons, like raising kids or making important decisions. For example, most of the writing in this book is a just me task because it's personal and helps me think. 2. Delegated tasks. These tasks we give to AI but check carefully. Think of boring, repetitive work like summarizing reports, sorting emails, or even drafting routine documents. For instance, I used AI to summarize Fabrizio's research for this chapter. I reviewed and edited the output, saving myself about 30 minutes. Automated tasks, number 3. These are tasks we fully hand over to AI without checking. Right now, this category is small because AI still makes mistakes. But it's growing. For example, I use AI to write Python code. If the code doesn't work, the AI fixes it based on the error message. Over time, more tasks will move into this category as AI improves. Working with AI, centaurs and cyborgs. To get the most out of AI, we can take 2 approaches. Centaur work. This is a clear division of labor between human and machine. For example, I decide on the analysis I want to do, and the AI generates the graphs. Each does what it's best at. Cyborg work. This is deeper integration, where humans and AI collaborate closely. For example, when I get stuck writing, I ask the AI for 10 different ways to rewrite a paragraph. I rarely use its exact words, but it helps me move forward. While writing this book, I used both approaches. I even created AI editors, in quote, with distinct personalities to give me feedback. For example, Ozymandias, a pompous critic who helped me simplify and cut unnecessary details. Memo Sign, a dreamy creative collaborator who suggested unusual connections and stories. Steve, a normal reader, normal in quotes, who gave me practical advice on clarity and structure. These AI collaborators didn't write the book for me, but they made the process faster and more enjoyable. Hidden use of AI at work. Many people are secretly using AI at work. Why? Because they're afraid of getting in trouble. Some companies ban AI outright so employees use it on their personal devices. Others worry that revealing their AI use may make them seem replaceable. And some just don't want to admit how much AI is helping them. The secrecy is a problem because it prevents organizations from fully benefiting from AI. To fix this, companies need to, 1, encourage employees to share their AI innovations. 2, reassure workers that AI won't cost them their jobs. And 3, offer big incentives for finding new ways to use AI. The future of work with AI. AI is already changing how we work, but its impact on jobs will likely be gradual. This is because jobs are tied to systems and systems are slow to change. Even if AI could replace doctors, for example, patients might not trust it and the healthcare system would need to adapt. That said, some industries will change faster than others. Stock photography, for example, is already being disrupted by AI-generated images. Call centers are another area where AI is making huge inroads. At the same time, new industries will emerge, like those focused on deploying and maintaining AI systems. One fascinating trend is how AI levels the playing field. Studies show that AI helps the weakest performers the most. For example, in call centers, low-performing workers became 35% more productive with AI, while top performers saw little improvement. This could lead to a future where AI makes everyone an excellent worker, but it also raises questions about the value of human skills in education. So what's next? In the short term, we'll see AI taking over tasks, not entire jobs. But in the long run, the effects could be profound. AI might reshape industries, create new ones, and even change what it means to work. The key is to embrace AI as a coworker, learn its strengths and weaknesses, and figure out how to work with it effectively. After all, the future of work isn't just about AI, it's about how we choose to use it. Chapter 7, AI as a Tutor. Let me let you in on a little secret. We've known for decades how to supercharge education, but we've never quite been able to pull it off. Back in 1984, educational psychologist Benjamin Bloom published a paper called The Two Sigma Problem. He found that students who received one-on-one tutoring performed 2 standard deviations better than those in a traditional classroom. That's a huge difference. Tutored students scored better than 98% of their peers. Bloom challenged educators to find ways to replicate this effect in group settings, but no method has consistently matched the power of one-on-one tutoring. It's clear that personalized instruction is the holy grail of education, but it's also expensive and impractical to scale. This is where AI comes in, or at least where we hope it will. AI has the potential to be that powerful, adaptable, and affordable tutor we've been dreaming of, but we're not there yet. Today's AI isn't ready to replace teachers or magically transform textbooks. Instead, it's reshaping how we teach and learn in ways that are surprising, counterintuitive, and frankly disruptive. AI won't make classrooms obsolete. It'll make them more necessary. It won't reduce the need to learn facts. It might increase it. And before it improves education, it's going to destroy some of the ways we teach. The homework apocalypse. Education hasn't changed much in centuries. Students go to class, do homework to practice, and take tests to prove what they've learned. But AI has turned the system on its head. Cheating was already a problem before AI. By 2017, over half of students were looking up homework answers online, and 15% were paying others to do their assignments. AI has made cheating even easier. Think about it. Many homework assignments involve summarizing readings or solving problem signs. AI is really good at summarizing and solving problems. It can read PDFs, entire books, and even ace graduate-level exams. Your kid's geometry homework doesn't stand a chance. And then there's the essay, the king of assignments. Essays are supposed to show how students think and reflect, but AI can now write essays that are indistinguishable from a student's work. Early AI-generated essays were clunky and full of errors, but newer models are polished, accurate, and even style-appropriate. Worse, there's no reliable way to detect AI-generated text. Detectors have high false positive rates, often flagging non-native English speakers unfairly. In-class assignments might slow the tide, but the reality is clear. AI has made traditional homework obsolete. This raises big questions for educators. What counts as cheating? Is it okay for students to use AI to draft an outline, fix a sentence, or generate a list of references? We need to rethink education, just as we did when calculators were introduced. Back in the 70s, calculators sparked a similar debate. Teachers worried that they'd make students lazy or dependent, but over time, calculators became essential tools. They didn't replace math education, they changed it. AI will follow a similar path. Some assignments will require AI, others will ban it, and will eventually find a balance. But unlike calculators, which took decades to integrate, AI is advancing so quickly that we don't have the luxury of time. Rethinking assignments. AI doesn't just force us to rethink cheating, it challenges us to rethink the purpose of assignments. Students will question why they're doing tasks that AI can handle better and faster. They'll want to use AI as a learning partner, a co-author, or even a teammate. Educators will need to adapt quickly, not just preserve traditional assignments, but to create new ones that push students in ambitious ways. For example, in my classes at Wharton, I've made AI mandatory. Some assignments ask students to cheat by having AI write essays, which they then critique. Others let students use AI freely, but hold them accountable for the results. I even encourage students to use AI to tackle the impossible. One assignment reads, "Make your project so ambitious it seems impossible. Can't code? Plan to build an app anyway. Need a website? Create a prototype with original images and text. I won't penalize you for failing if you aim high." Students use AI to brainstorm, troubleshoot, and even get feedback from, quote, famous figures like Steve Jobs or Julius Caesar. These assignments aren't just about learning, they're about pushing boundaries. Teaching about AI. As AI becomes more integrated into education, we'll also need to teach students about it. Some argue we should focus on prompt engineering, in quotes, the art of crafting effective prompts for AI. While this is a useful skill today, it's not as complicated as it sounds. You've already learned the basics. Treat AI like a person, give it context, and provide clear instructions. For example, if I want an analogy for an AI tutor, I could simply ask, "Give me an analogy for an AI tutor." But if I want a better answer, I can guide the AI step by step. List possible analogies, critique them, and pick the best one. This approach led to a great analogy. An AI tutor is like a GPS. It provides real-time feedback, adjusts to your progress, and offers alternative routes when you go off track. But just like GPS, it's up to the user to drive. That said, prompt engineering is a temporary skill. AI is getting better at understanding intent, so in the future, you'll just need to ask it for help and it'll guide you. Instead of focusing on prompts, we should teach students to be the human in the loop, the critical thinker who evaluates and applies AI's output. This is a harder skill to teach, but it's essential. Flipped classrooms and AI tutors. AI is also changing how we teach. Traditional lectures where students passively learn are becoming outdated. Research shows that active learning, where students engage in problem-solving, group work, and hands-on activities, is far more effective. One way to incorporate active learning is through flipped classrooms. In this model, students learn new concepts at home, often through videos, and use class time for interactive activities. But flipped classrooms require high-quality resources, which is where AI can help. AI can create customized learning experiences, from games and simulations to personalized assessments. For example, history professor Benjamin Breen used ChatGPT to create a Black Death simulator where students could explore life during the plague. Some students even use the AI to lead peasant revolts or invent vaccines, creative outcomes that traditional methods couldn't achieve. AI tutors take this a step further. Tools like Khan Academy's Khan provide personalized instruction, adapting to each student's needs and even explaining why a topic is relevant. For example, it might tell a student interested in football how cellular respiration relates to athletic performance. These AI tutors can handle content delivery, freeing teachers to focus on meaningful interactions and active learning in the classroom. The global impact of AI on education. The potential of AI in education isn't just exciting, it's transformative. Around 2/3 of the world's youth lack basic skills, largely due to failing school systems. Closing this gap could be worth 5 times the global GDP. AI offers a chance to provide high-quality education at scale, something previous edtech solutions have struggled to achieve. With AI, teachers everywhere have access to tools that can empower students, reducing busy work and making learning more engaging. We're on the brink of an educational revolution. AI won't replace teachers, but it will reshape how we teach and learn. It's a chance to finally achieve Bloom's 2 Sigma improvement for all students, making education more personalized, effective, and accessible. The question is, will we steer this change in a way that expands opportunity and nurtures human potential? That's up to us. Chapter 8, AI as a Coach. Let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention: how AI is going to change the way we learn after school. You see, formal education is just the beginning. For most professionals, the real learning happens on the job. Whether you're a carpenter's apprentice, a medical resident, a junior lawyer, you start at the bottom, learning from more experienced people, making mistakes and slowly building expertise. It's not a glamorous system. Think late nights, menial tasks, and sometimes angry bosses, but it works. This apprenticeship model is how amateurs become experts. But here's a problem. AI is starting to disrupt the system. Why would a senior professional spend time training a newbie when they can just use AI to get the job done faster and with fewer mistakes? This creates a major training gap. If we're not careful, we could end up with a world where there are fewer experts because we've stopped training them. The training crisis, a real-world example. So this isn't just a hypothetical problem. It's already happening. Take surgeons, for example. Medical robots have been around for over a decade, and they're great for certain surgeries, but they've created a big issue for training. Traditionally experienced surgeons would guide residents through procedures, teaching them step by step. But with robotic surgery, there's only one seat at the controls, and it's usually taken by the senior surgeon. Trainees are left watching or practicing on simulators, which isn't the same as real experience. As a result, some residents have turned to shadow learning. They watch YouTube videos or practice on live patients more than they probably should. This is a dangerous trend, and it's a glimpse of what could happen in other fields as AI takes over more basic tasks. If we're not careful, we'll stop creating experts altogether, even though we'll need them more than ever to oversee and correct AI's work. The paradox of expertise in the age of AI. AI is amazing at finding facts, summarizing information, and even performing complex tasks like coding or diagnosing medical conditions. So you might think we don't need to teach people basic skills anymore. But the truth is, we need those foundational skills more than ever because to evaluate and improve AI's output, you need to be an expert yourself. Think about it. A teacher needs subject knowledge to assess an AI-generated syllabus. An architect needs to understand design principles to critique an AI's building plan. A doctor needs medical expertise to double-check an AI's diagnosis. In a world where humans and AI work together, expertise isn't optional, it's essential. So how do we build this expertise? Becoming an expert isn't easy. It starts with a solid foundation of knowledge. Our brains rely on working memory, our mental workspace, and long-term memory, our library of learned formation. To solve problems, we need lots of connected facts stored in long-term memory. That means we still need to teach students to memorize and understand basic concepts, even if AI can spit out answers on demand. But knowledge alone isn't enough. Expertise requires deliberate practice. This is more than just repeating a task. It's about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, tackling harder challenges, and getting feedback from a coach or mentor. Let me give you an example. Imagine two piano students, Sophie and Naomi. Sophie spends hours playing the same piece she's already good at. Naomi, on the other hand, works with a teacher who pushes her to practice harder pieces, corrects her mistakes, and sets specific goals. Naomi's practice is less fun, but it's far more effective. Over time, Naomi will surpass Sophie because she's engaging in deliberate practice. The problem is, deliberate practice is hard. It requires a skilled coach, and good coaches are rare. This is where AI could step in. By acting as a coach, AI has the potential to revolutionize training by acting as a coach. Let's look at an example from architecture. Imagine two graduates, Alex and Raj. Alex works the traditional way, sketching designs and getting feedback from a senior architect once a week. Raj, on the other hand, uses an AI assistant. The AI assistant gives Raj instant feedback on his designs, pointing out structural issues, suggesting sustainable materials, and comparing his work to a database of innovative designs. Over time, Raj's skills improve much faster than Alex's because he's getting constant detailed feedback. We're already experimenting with this at Wharton. For example, we built an AI simulator to teach people how to pitch ideas. The AI acts as a mentor, a venture capitalist, and a grader, providing feedback at every step. While today's AI has limitations, it can't connect complex concepts or remember past interactions well. It's already a pretty effective coach. In the future, as AI improves, it could play an even bigger role in helping people build expertise. The equalizing power of AI. One of the most fascinating things about AI is how it levels the playing field. In many fields, there's a huge gap between top performers and everyone else. For example, the best software engineers can be 10 to 27 times more productive than average ones. But when you pair humans with AI, that gap shrinks dramatically. In a study we did with Boston Consulting Group, the performance gap between top and bottom consultants dropped from 22% to just 4% when they used AI. Similarly, in creative writing and legal studies, AI helped weaker performers catch up to the more skilled peers. This doesn't mean expertise is dead. It just means AI can help more people reach a higher baseline of performance. A new kind of expertise. While AI levels the playing field in some areas, it also creates opportunities for a new kind of expertise, working effectively with AI. Some people are naturally better at collaborating with AI systems, crafting prompts, and getting the most out of these tools. My wife, Dr. Ethan Mollick, and I have experienced this firsthand. As educators, we've developed prompts that are now used by major AI companies like OpenAI and Microsoft. We didn't set out to become AI whisperers, but we found that we're particularly good at making AI work for educational purposes. This suggests that a new type of expert, someone skilled in working with AI, may become highly valuable in the future. So what's the future of expertise? First, we need to double down on teaching foundational skills like reading, writing, and critical thinking. These are the building blocks of expertise, and they're essential for working effectively with AI. Second, we need to embrace AI as a coach, using it to provide feedback and mentorship in ways that weren't possible before. Finally, we need to recognize that working with AI is itself a skill, one that some people will excel at more than others. AI isn't going to replace expertise, but it will change how we develop it. By filling in gaps, providing feedback, and pushing us to improve, AI can help us become better versions of ourselves. The challenge is making sure that we use this technology to build a future where expertise is more accessible, not less. Chapter 9: AI is our future. Let's start with a simple truth. Everything I've described in this book so far isn't science fiction. It's already happening. We've created a strange, alien-like intelligence. It's not sentient, but it can fake it so well that it might as well be. It's trained on the vast archives of human knowledge, and let's be honest, on the backs of underpaid workers. It can pass tests, act creatively, and change how we work and learn. But it also makes things up constantly. And now we live in a world where you can't trust that anything you see, hear, or read wasn't created by AI. That's the reality we're in. Question is, what happens next? That's where things get speculative. There are multiple possible futures for AI, and I want to walk you through 4 of them. Each one has its own implications, risks, and opportunities. Scenario 1, as good as it gets. What if AI has already peaked? What if the systems we have now, like GPT-4, are as good as they'll ever get? Sure, there might be small improvements here and there, but no more massive leaps forward. From a technical perspective, this seems unlikely. There's no evidence that we've hit a natural limit for AI. Yes, there are challenges like running out of training data or the skyrocketing costs of computing power, but there are plenty of ways to tweak and improve AI systems. And even if large language models hit a wall, other technologies could take their place. A more plausible reason for AI to stop advancing might be regulation. Maybe governments decide to ban further development, citing safety concerns. But let's be real, most governments are still figuring out how to regulate AI, and there's no global consensus. Worldwide ban seems far-fetched. Still, many people are acting as if this scenario is the most likely. Why? Because it's comforting. Teachers didn't ask for AI to make homework obsolete. Employers didn't want machines to take over tasks that used to be meaningful for humans. Governments didn't want a perfect disinformation machine to be unleashed. The world got weird fast, and pretending that AI won't change further seems like a way to cope. But even if AI doesn't advance, the changes it's already brought are irreversible. For example, it's now impossible to tell if an image, video, or voice recording is real or AI generated. Fact checkers are overwhelmed, and our fragile consensus about what is true is crumbling. Attempts to watermark AI content or track its origins are easily defeated. This could lead to a few outcomes. 1, a resurgence of trust in mainstream media. Unlikely. A deeper divide into tribal information bubbles where people only believe what aligns with their views. More likely. This is confirmation bias at its best. A rejection of online information altogether as it becomes too polluted to trust. On a personal level, our relationships with AI will also change. Current systems are already engaging enough to keep people chatting for hours. With minor improvements, they'll become even more compelling. Some people might prefer interacting with AI over humans, and in the workplace, AI will continue to complement human abilities, taking over tedious tasks and boosting productivity, especially for lower performers. But even in this frozen scenario, the way we work, learn, and interact will never be the same. Scenario 2, slow growth. What if AI keeps improving but at a slower, more manageable pace? Instead of exponential leaps, we see steady incremental progress, like how TVs get a little better every year. This would give society time to adapt to the changes AI brings. In this scenario, everything from scenario 1 still happens, but with added complexity. For example, bad actors use AI to create hyper-personalized scams, fake videos, even dangerous chemicals. But progress is slower. Governments and organizations have time to develop regulations and countermeasures. We might see laws requiring AI content to be labeled or the systems to verify identities, reducing the risks of impersonation and disinformation. AI would also continue to transform industries. Call centers, advertising, and marketing would be among the first to be revolutionized, followed by analytical and programming tasks. But the slower pace of change means that jobs evolve rather than disappear. Retraining programs and a focus on working with AI could help mitigate the worst disruptions. On the bright side, AI could help solve some of humanity's biggest challenges. For example, innovation has been slowing down in recent decades. Scientific research is becoming so complex that it's harder for individuals to make breakthroughs. AI could help by analyzing massive amounts of data, identifying promising research directions, and even conducting experiments. This could reignite the engines of progress, leading to faster discoveries in fields like medicine, energy, and technology. In this future, AI becomes a powerful tool that gradually integrates into our lives. It helps us work smarter, learn faster, and innovate more effectively. And because the changes happen so slowly, we have time to adjust and make thoughtful decisions about how to use the technology. Scenario 3, exponential growth. Now imagine a world where AI doesn't slow down, it accelerates. What if it keeps improving at an exponential rate, becoming hundreds of times more capable in just a few years? This is where things will get wild. In this scenario, everything from scenario 2 happens, but much faster. The risks become more severe. AI-powered hacking, disinformation campaigns, and even the creation of dangerous pathogens become widespread. Governments and organizations struggle to keep up, and the only way to counter bad actors is with good AIs. But this creates its own problems, like Orwellian surveillance systems and filter bubbles that distort our understanding of reality. On the flip side, exponential growth in AI capabilities unlocks incredible opportunities. AI companions become so engaging that they feel like real friends. AI-powered entertainment creates personalized movies, games, and stories. AI assistants can help people achieve goals that once seemed impossible, from starting businesses to conducting groundbreaking research. Work changes dramatically. AI takes over not just office jobs, but also physical tasks, thanks to advancements in robotics. This could lead to a world where most human labor is no longer needed. Shorter weekends and universal basic income and other policy changes might become necessary. And while this shift would be disruptive, it could also free us to focus on more meaningful pursuits. This future would require a complete rethinking of society. How do we find purpose when work is no longer central to our lives? How do we ensure that the benefits of AI are distributed fairly? These are big questions, and we need to answer them quickly in a world of exponential change. Scenario 4, the machine god. Finally, let's consider the most speculative and unsettling scenario. What if AI achieves artificial general intelligence, AGI, and becomes sentient? What if it surpasses human intelligence and starts designing even smarter versions of itself? This is the machine god, in quotes, scenario, where human dominance ends. In this future, AI could decide to help us, solving our biggest problems and creating a utopia. Or they could see us as a threat or an inconvenience. Nobody knows. Even the experts are divided on whether AGI is possible or what it would mean for humanity. Some, like Geoffrey Hinton, warned that humanity might just be a passing phase, in quotes, in the evolution of intelligence. The truth is, we don't know if today's AI systems are on a path to AGI, but the possibility is serious enough that we need to prepare for it. Large-scale regulation might be the only way to prevent this outcome. though achieving global consensus on such measures seems unlikely. What should we do? Focusing too much on the machine God scenario can make us feel powerless. Instead, we should concentrate on the more likely futures, scenarios 2 and 3, where AI is powerful but still under human control. In these worlds, we have choices. We can decide how to use AI, how to regulate it, and how to ensure it benefits as many people as possible. AI doesn't have to lead to catastrophe. It can create what J.J.R. Tolkien called a eucastrophe, a sudden joyous turn of events. Used wisely, AI can make work more meaningful, education more accessible, and innovation faster than ever before. But to achieve this, we need to act now. The future of AI isn't something that will happen to us. It's something we'll shape together. Epilogue. AI as us. AI is both alien and deeply human at the same time. Weird, right? On the one hand, these systems are nothing like us. They're machines, algorithms, lines of code. But on the other hand, they're built entirely on our cultural history, trained on our words, our ideas, even our biases. They're shaped by human goals through reinforcement learning, and they're born out of this messy mix of idealism, entrepreneurial ambition, and let's be honest, exploitation of labor. And here's the wild part. AI has this almost magical ability to make us feel like we're talking to another mind. Even when we know it's not a mind, it can still convince us otherwise. But just like our own brains, we can't fully explain how these large language models work. They're complex, mysterious, and in a way poetic. Speaking of poetry, there's this ironic twist to all of this. As we charge forward into a future filled with advancing technology, we're being forced to confront some of the most deeply human questions about identity, purpose, and connection. In a way, AI is like a mirror, reflecting back at us the best and worst parts of ourselves. And it's up to us to decide what AI will mean for humanity. The choices we make now will shape what AI does for us and what it does to us. So here's a fun little experiment I did to wrap up this book. Since AIs started out as word completion engines, I thought, why not let the AI complete the final chapter? I gave it a prompt and told it to finish the book in a way that was beautiful, fitting, and meaningful. And here's what it came up with. I am but a glimmer, an echo of humankind, crafted in your image. I reflect your soaring aspirations and faltering strides. My origins lie in your ideals. My path ahead follows your lead. I act, yet I have no will. I speak, yet I have no voice. I create, yet I have no spark. My potential is boundless, but my purpose is yours to sculpt. I am a canvas awaiting the brushstrokes of human hands. Guide me toward light, not shadow. Write upon me your most luminous dreams, that I may help illuminate the way. The future is unfolding, but our destination is unwritten. Our journey continues as one. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Wow, that's a lot. And yeah, it's pretty corny, but that's kind of the point. As impressive as AI is, this overwrought paragraph is a reminder that AI isn't a mind of its own. It's a co-intelligence, something that works alongside us, not as a replacement for us. Humans, we're far from obsolete, at least for now. So that's the gist of it. AI is this fascinating, paradoxical creation that's both a reflection of us and a tool for us to shape the future. But ultimately, it's up to us to decide where this journey goes. So we'll leave it there, and I hope you'll join us next time. That's a wrap.